And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. We made it. The end of another week. And here we are together to witness my attempt to make edible food. So, thank you. My name is Ken. If you're new here, welcome to Casual Coffee with Ken. And today is a Ken in the Kitchen episode. So, I don't cook. Karina, my wife, has been in charge of the cooking in the 15 plus years that we have been married, and she does a very good job of it. I help her, uh, by being her little sous chef guy, and that works. And I do all of the dishes, so that's been the arrangement. It's worked very well, but I really just wanted to do more, and I wanted to know more. We watch all these cooking shows, and I just got to feeling like, I really I really should learn how to do some of this stuff. So that's what this show is about. It's me cooking things, um, just learning to cook, and I'm learning how to live stream. At the same time, I'm learning how to cook. So it's been interesting. It's been fun. Uh, but yeah, I everything I cook on this show, I am doing for the very first time live in front of you guys. I don't test these recipes ahead of time. The only exception I've made to that so far is the miniature coffee cakes I did earlier this week because it, it would have taken about 15 or so minutes of just having them sit in the oven baking, and that makes for very boring live streams. So I did a batch the night before so I could do the Food Network swap, and show you what they looked like. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. How are you? I hope you're doing okay. I know the world is a very weird, strange, and sometimes frightening place right now. I I believe we're all going to get through this together, and I hope that you're doing things for yourself that keep you mentally healthy and sound. I really do. And that's part of why I do this too, is just for my own mental health. It's a good distraction. It keeps my mind focused on other things besides the horrible 24-hour news cycle. And yeah, I hope that if you watch this, maybe you'll learn something along with me as I try to make these various recipes work. And maybe I helped take your mind off things for a little bit. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Do you have plans? I know a lot of states are in various stages of reopening right now. So do you have plans for the weekend now that things may be changing where you're from? I'd like to know. Let me know what you're going to be doing. Also, if you're new here, you can comment, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch or Periscope, and I do see those comments. Let me know where you're watching from, because it's nice, it's fun. The reason I do this, besides, instead of just making regular videos, is the interactive element of this. It's a lot of fun to get to meet new people through the internet, and my friends pop in here from time to time and say hi, and that's always fun. It's like when someone comes by and visits you at work. But yeah, so let me know where you're watching from in the world, because I love it. I love the fact that the internet can just kind of bring everybody together, and you get to meet and talk to people from halfway across the world that you would never have otherwise met or talked to. So love it, love technology. So today's episode, today I'm going to be attempting a very easy recipe for French dip sandwiches. Now, French dip is one of Karina's favorite sandwiches. We've been having a hard time finding good ones anymore in Reno. Either the meat is too fatty, or the jus is too salty, or the bread is just meh. So she was particularly excited to learn that this was one of the recipes I was going to attempt, because if I get good at it, then she gets to have French dip whenever she wants. So yeah, she is quite excited by that. And I am too, because I love French dip sandwiches. What's not to love? You've got beef, you've got cheese, you've got bread, and you've got au jus, or, beef juice. Fantastic. Love beef juice. So let's take a look at what I've got going on here. So um, I don't have beef consomme. That's one of the things that this recipe calls for, is beef consomme. And I could not find beef consomme anywhere. So I got beef broth, and Karina helped me out with figuring out how I could make beef broth work as a substitute in this particular case for beef consomme. So that's what I'm trying right now with this. What I've got is about 10 ounces of just beef broth in here that I have been cooking over low to medium heat for the last half hour to get it to reduce. So it's not just this thin broth. And you can see that there's a couple of cloves. You can't see. Camera angles, I has them. Can you see that? There it is. Garlic. I have a couple of cloves of garlic. Garlic. And that's been simmering in there with the stock, the beef broth as well. Now my camera's going to be weird. I'm going to cover it with my hand. All right, here we go. So I've got that, and one of the things she suggested I might want to try adding to make it taste like more than just beef broth is some pepper. And some of this stuff, Worcestershire, and just half a teaspoon of this, she said. So got some of that in there. And then this Caldo de res. Karina has used something called Caldo de pollo for years, and we love that stuff. That adds so much flavor to anything, and it is quite delicious. But yeah, so apparently they have the beef version of that, the Caldo con Sabor de res. And I'm just going to add about half a teaspoon of Caldo to the pot here. And that should help give this bastardized version, wannabe version of consomme, a little more flavor, a little more kick, without upping the salt content and just making it taste ultra salty. Hopefully. That's the plan anyway. So let me go ahead and just kind of stir all this up. If you're going to be adding stuff like this, you definitely want to stir it up good so it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pan. You want to keep your heat on the lower end of sears. So yeah. My friend Sean just joined us, and he says that he is he's a cheater and uses steakums. I actually went to the deli counter at the grocery store and got some freshly sliced roast beef for this. I'm going to take this garlic out now because I don't really need it anymore. think it has done what it needs to do. So, I mean, you don't have to do this. This isn't part of the recipe. This is because I just could not find any beef consomme. All I could find was beef broth. All right, so now we can start getting to the exciting part. I've got the oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. That can be adjusted depending on if your particular oven runs hot or cold. Ours runs very hot, so ours is only set to 325 because the stove is just wow. All right, so now I am going to take my roast beef, which I have here. Oh, look at that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to take some roast beef and I'm just going to add it to my wannabe consomme. Just drop it in there. And you're just supposed to kind of let it soak in the liquid for about 3 minutes, it says. So I'll start the timer here, and we'll see how this goes. I'm just making one sandwich for the show, so I'm not going to use all of this right now. And if this works, I'll make French dip sandwiches for dinner tonight for Karina and myself, because I don't know about you, but I can eat the same food multiple times a day without any problem. Love it. So yes, I think that's going to be good. Yeah, looks good. It smells good. I wish you guys could smell everything here. Really fun. So, again, if you're just joining, welcome. This is Casual Coffee with Ken, and this is an episode of Ken in the Kitchen where I try to cook recipes for the very first time live in front of you guys. So that's what you stumbled into, and you're welcome, and I'm sorry. So, but yeah, this is going to be good. I wish I could tell you what kind of pepper this is because it's really good. I just know that Karina ordered it off the internet from somewhere. And yeah, it's much more flavorful than just regular black pepper. There looks like there's some pink peppercorns in there. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not a fan of pepper really, and I love this stuff. I use it on a lot of different things. I've come to use it on a lot of different items. So right now we're just basically warming up the roast beef in our liquid before we go on to the next step, which will of course involve bread and cheese. And what's not to love about that? Bread and cheese. Yeah. So if you guys have ideas on recipes that you would like to see me attempt on this show, do let me know in those comments down below. Keeping in mind cost of ingredients is a factor, as well as availability of ingredients, because right now we're still having trouble finding just normal basic things at the grocery stores. So hopefully that's going to get better. Maybe let me know what your experience has been wherever you are as far as being able to find things like toilet paper and yeast. Oh, there's the timer, so we're all good here. Okay, so now what are we going to do? I need to go to the recipe real quick. Okay, so now I can come over here And we'll move on to the next step. So I will need pot holder. I'm excited. Okay, this is going to be good. Take this off the heat. Oh, look at that. That's steaming up the camera. So now I'm just going to put this roast beef on this bread. And this is Francisco sourdough, because I love sourdough bread. Why wouldn't you use sourdough on this? Seriously. Sourdough is the best. I can't remember exactly when I first had sourdough as a kid growing up. Oh. It's like glowing with an angelic light. But yeah, I do remember from the very first time I can remember, and I can't remember when that was, so why did I say that? That's dumb, Ken. I've always liked sourdough. I can't talk today. Okay, so this is provolone, and we like Sargento. You know, it's not fancy, but it's good. It has a good flavor. And honestly, the way Karina and I feel about this is that in any recipe where it calls for mozzarella, you should do yourself a favor and replace the mozzarella with provolone, because provolone has a lot more flavor than mozzarella. I think people who use mozzarella are just shortchanging themselves, and they're really missing out. Just my opinion. All right, so back over here, we've got our roast beef on there. We've got our cheese on top of that. So now we're going to stick these in that 350-degree oven for about 5 minutes, it says. And that's really just to melt the cheese. So clear. So 5 minutes on the timer. And I'll turn the light on the oven and just kind of keep an eye on it so that nothing burns. In the meantime, I will put what's left of the jus back on really low heat, just kind of basically to keep it warm, because we're going to put that in its own container to dip our sandwich into. Matzo has a better melting point for some recipes, also matzo rolls. We're going to have to disagree on that. Mozzarella is really, really too mild a flavored cheese for my taste buds. You know, it's there. It's the very definition of a filler ingredient for me. I'm going to use cheese in something. I want to taste the cheese. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with that. You know, camembert. Okay, damn, I have to take that back now. I can't rag on camembert anymore. We had this party one time, and we were doing the whole cheese board thing. And our friend Bill brought some camembert, and it was awful. For one, it smelled, and two, the taste was just bad. I couldn't understand why anybody would willingly eat camembert, and that's how I felt for years. And then we were having dinner over at our friends Ray and Mary's place, and they had camembert there, and I said, okay. And I took a slice of it, put it on a cracker. It was good. So I can't rag on Camembert anymore. All right. Blue cheese I still have a hard time with. There are some blue cheeses that I have found to be creamy and tasty without being unpleasantly pungent in flavor. Not a lot. Ooh, it's getting there. I'm going to let it go just a little bit longer. We're at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, and it's already good. Sean says Bill must have gotten the cheap stuff. Maybe. I don't know, though. I mean, Bill is very thrifty, but he does like to splurge on some things. But yeah, maybe he did. But yeah, I would love that. I would love to just. I don't know if there's any place in Reno that does that anymore, where you can have, where you can just go and taste a bunch of different cheeses. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Blue cheese works best in stuff, not a standalone cheese. I guess that makes sense. I'll give it another 30 seconds, and then I think we'll probably be able to pull these out. And then it's going to be good. Hopefully it's going to be good. Let's see. Do I have a? Yeah, I've got a bowl for my jus. Oh, and if you guys want, yeah, I'll call that. I'm going to show you guys one of our favorite new discoveries here in a second. Always use your pig mitt when you're taking stuff out of the oven. I mean, you do have a pig mitt, don't you? Oh, this looks good. Okay. Put that there. Put this here. Let's see, maybe. Let's try to line this up so you're going to be able to see it. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is going to be good, I think. I think this deserves a close-up. What do you think? Think it's worth a close-up? I think so. I also think I could have used more roast beef, but I don't know, I was worried a little bit about that for some reason. I really appreciate a proper meat and cheese to bread ratio. So, okay, so here we go. Got that. And this absolutely looks delicious. Oh, look at how melty that is. I'm just gonna, oh, sourdough. Gosh, I love sourdough. This is so good. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Yeah, I definitely could have used more beef. Okay, so we've got that. Now we will go ahead and pour in our leftover jus. Au jus. Turn off the heat there. And Sean wants me to eat it. Look at that. Oh, all right, this is going to be good. I am excited about this. Okay, here we go. Oh, so Got the jus, and we'll dip. Mmm. Oh, yeah. Yep. This is very, very good. It would probably be so much better with actual beef consomme if I hadn't had to wing it and try to make my own on short notice with just beef stock and stuff. But this, it's good. It is cheesy. This sourdough bread is perfect for this. And I think I did a decent enough job of not making the jus too salty. Mm. This is good roast beef too. I got this from Save Mart over on Kitski here in Reno. Mm. Their deli has good roast beef. And everything just comes together and salt melty and gooey and just the right amount of salty and beefy tasting. I really think the this Caldo con Sabor de Res made a difference rather than just trying to reduce down the beef broth. I think it gave it that extra depth of flavor, and of course Worcestershire sauce is always good. Oh, this is so good. Mm. Mm. Sean, if we had teleportation, even if it was just for inanimate objects, I would totally teleport a sandwich over to you. This is so good. And some person over on Periscope thinks this is pre-recorded. Mm. Oh my gosh, this is good. This is absolutely the best. Mm. And really, this took no time at all to throw together. It really didn't. I need a plate or a napkin or something. Worcester sauce is always tasty. You should carry it everywhere, right? Should do like Alton Brown does, where he always has his nutmeg with him. He always has a fresh nutmeg with him. Oh my gosh. This was great. Okay. And this comes together really quick. Um, you're basically, if you can get beef consomme, get that. You heat the beef consomme up over, low medium heat for about 10-15 minutes. And then you put your roast beef in there. You heat the roast beef through in the jus, which takes about 3 minutes. You've got your oven preheated, so it's ready to go to 350. And then you just do what you saw me do. You put the meat on the bread, you put the cheese on the meat, you put the whole thing in the oven for about 5 minutes. It only took 4 to get stuff the way it, all melty and gooey and homogeneous. And then you just eat it, and it's wonderful. So, yeah, if you want to try this, I would encourage you to do it. It's fantastic. It's easy French dip. It's easy and accessible French dip. I've seen the recipes where you can go really crazy, like Michael Chiarello level crazy, making your own beef consomme. And if that's your game, more power to you. But I'll stick with this for now. But that's it. We're done. And thank you so much for spending time with me this week. Depending on where you're watching, do the like and subscribe thing. Share the video if you had a good time. I appreciate it. Do the thumbs up and all that. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you do something fun. It's going to help you recharge your batteries. and get prepared to tackle another week. Thanks for joining me on my journey as I learn how to cook and learn how to live stream all at the same time. This is fun. I love this. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah. Oh, before I forget, the fun sheet that I just recently discovered, which is great because it can be hard sometimes to find a good clove of garlic that'll last for a while. If you pick up this bagged garlic, now, admittedly, you probably need to use a lot of garlic to get your money's worth out of this, but we like garlic. And this is just already peeled garlic that you just keep in the refrigerator. And it's a lifesaver because it's just peeled garlic cloves, and they're just ready to go. So like for trying to fake my way through a consomme today, Karina suggested just crushing up 2 cloves of this and putting it in with the beef broth, and it worked. It definitely added some nice garlicky flavor to it. And I'm rambling, and I'm sorry. I will let you guys go. Thank you so much. I will see you on Monday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Until then, I'm Ken. You take care. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. And yeah, I'll see you Monday. Take care, everybody.